Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back. This is Mrs. Maldonado. I have another lesson for you today. I have a guided reading lesson, a sight word game, and our math lesson. So let's dive right in. Okay, so the book I have for today for our guided reading lesson is titled Protect the Earth by Elizabeth Bennet, and it's illustrated by Margot Lucas. If you could look down from outer space, you'd see our world is a beautiful place. It's filled with grass and trees and plants and hundreds of creatures from hippos to ants. And boys and girls, if you notice, there will also be some rhyming words here included in within our text. So see if you can find them. Okay, so here on page number 2, we have space and place. They both say ace. We have plants and ants. They both say ants. The oceans are blue, the mountains are green, but it's up to us all to help them stay clean. So here's a list of some things we can do to keep the world healthy for me and for you. Okay, boys and girls, there's some more rhyming words here. So let's look on page number 4. We have green and clean. They both say een. Then we have on page number 5, we have do and you. They both say ooh. Also, boys and girls, we have a text feature on page number 5. Actually, two things that I wanted to point out in page number 5. We have a word that is bold. Remember when we're talking about text features, one of the text features that help us read is bold print words. Okay, they help us because it helps the word stand out. Okay, we can see that it's darker and we can easily tell what word that is. In this case, the word that is in bold print is healthy. We also see a yellow box here and it says keyword, and then it also has the word healthy. So all of the words that are in bold print will be our vocabulary words for this book. Okay, so what is healthy? What does healthy mean? Well, healthy means strong and well. Okay, let's move along to our next page. Purchase less, you can if you try. Reduce the number of things you buy. Reuse the same lunch bag each day. When things still work, don't throw them away. All right, boys and girls, so we have two bold print vocabulary words, one on each page. So we're going to look at the one on page number 6 first. And that vocabulary word is reduce. Okay, so that vocabulary word reduce means to make something smaller or less. Okay, so here's the hippo character. She's saying in the speech bubble, I like the sweater, but I don't need it. Okay, so we want to have, the text is telling us to purchase less. Remember, purchase is one of our vocabulary words that we learned from another book. Okay, so purchase means to buy. So we want to buy less. Okay, so and reduce, it means to make it smaller number. Okay, so she probably doesn't really need that sweater, so she wants to reduce the number of things she buys. Okay, the vocabulary word that's in bold print on page number 7 is reuse. And reuse, boys and girls, means to use something again. Okay, and in this case, in the text, in the story, it's telling us to reuse the same lunch bag. Sometimes, well, we have lunch bags, and if they're still good, we keep on reusing and reusing them. We don't have to use a new one every single day if they're still good. Okay, and as we keep reading along within the story, you will see why. Okay, remember the title of our story for today is Protect Our Earth. So let's see why we want to do that. All right, boys and girls, and as I'm reading along, please look at the details within the illustrations of the pages so that can help you understand. Remember, the pictures are illustrations. They help us understand what we are reading. Recycle bottles and old metal cans. This will help us save our lands. Don't waste water. Plip, plip, plop. We need every single drop. Okay, so we're going to start with page number 8. And our bold print word, that's also our vocabulary word, is recycle. So recycle, boys and girls, it means to turn old items into new products. Okay, so here we see the kangaroos. They're recycling different things. And if you look at their pouches, boys and girls, they have a different thing that can be recycled. That's pretty cool. Okay, one of them says metal, so that means we can recycle metal. The other kangaroo's pouch says glass. So these are all things that we can put in our recycling bins. They don't have to go in our trash cans. They can go in our recycling bins so they can be used again, okay? So the other one is plastic. Also can go in our recycling bins. Paper, okay? And there's different kinds of paper, newspapers, or any kind of other kind of papers that we don't need, we can put in the recycling bin. All right, so those are things that we can recycle. Remember to use again. All right, so let's look at page number 9. And we have a speech bubble here from one of the tiger character. It says, remember to turn off the water while you brush your teeth. And the bold print word, that's also our vocabulary word, is waste. So what does waste mean? Well, waste means to use something carelessly. That means we just don't worry about it. We just use it and it doesn't matter if it wastes or not. Okay? So in this case, the tiger is reminding, it looks like the tiger dad, it looks like the dad or the father is reminding the daughter, please turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth, because if we're not using the water, boys and girls, we should turn it off. Okay, that way we're not wasting water. Remember, we want to save our water because perhaps we need to use it for something else. Okay, so let's go on to the next page. Save energy by riding your bike. Forget the car, just take a hike. I can hear those rhyming words already. Garbage here, garbage there. Pollution can be anywhere. Okay, so let's take a look at page number 10. And our vocabulary word is energy. So what is energy? Well, energy is the power we get from electricity, gas, or other sources. So our energy, save energy, that means that instead of using our cars, or our trucks or whatever our parents have that they drive us in, so we won't waste gas, we don't waste that energy. It says for us to ride our bike, remember? And then it says, forget the car, just take a hike. And what were the 2 rhyming words, boys and girls, that you heard? Remember, bike, hike, they both say Ike. Okay, now let's look at page number 11. Our vocabulary word is pollution. What is pollution? Well, pollution is garbage that harms the earth's air, water, or soil. So those are 3 very important things that we need, boys and girls. Very important to everyone that lives on the earth, including the animals, the plants, everybody, every living thing. Okay, so it is a garbage that harms all of us. That is pollution. So it says garbage here, garbage there. Pollution can be anywhere. So we have the 2 rhyming words at the end of those lines. We have there and anywhere. They both say air. Okay, let's go to the next 2 pages. So when you see trash all about, protect the earth and toss it out. If everyone helps, if we pitch in, the world stays clean and we all win. All right, so let's take a look at page number 12. We have our bold print word. Remember that text feature, bold? Bold print means darker, so we're going to look at that word. That's also our vocabulary word. It stands out. That's why it's bold, darker. Okay, so our vocabulary word is protect. What is protect? Well, protect means to keep something safe from harm. Okay, so we want to protect our earth. And how can we do that, boys and girls? What are the children doing there? Okay, yes, we see them picking up the trash and they're putting the trash where it belongs. What do you think would happen if all that trash goes in the water? What would happen to our animals? The animals, all the sea animals that are that live in the water, that is their habitat. We don't want that trash in the water because it's going to harm the animals. Okay, so if we want to protect the earth, that's one thing that we can do to contribute to helping our earth. Okay, so let's look at page number 13. It says is if everyone helps, if we pitch in, the world stays clean and we all win. Okay, so everybody can help out, boys and girls. It doesn't matter how old or young we are. Everybody can help out by putting the trash where it belongs, or perhaps turning off the water when we're not using it, and many different other ways. Okay, so now let's take a look at our rhyming words. Let's look at page 12. Okay, we have about and out. They both say out. And for page number 13, we have in and win. They both say in. And we see that that's one of our habits, boys and girls. That's thinking win-win. So that means that everybody is winning in this case, because if we keep our earth clean, that means everybody's going to have clean water, everybody's going to have clean air, and our land is going to be able to produce things for us to eat, fruits and vegetables. So it's a win-win for everyone, boys and girls. All right, so that was the end of our story. Now we are going to match the words, the definitions with their meanings. Okay, if you see here on the left side, we have our meaning match, okay? And then we have a treasure chest, which is our word chest with all of our vocabulary words. So I am going to read the meanings. I am going to tell you what number I'm reading. So if you want to read along with me, that is great, boys and girls. We want to practice our reading as well. Okay, so we're going to get started with number 1. And then we're going to look for the word that it matches with in the treasure chest, okay? All right, for number 1, it's strong and well. When something is strong and well, what is it, boys and girls? And I am going to read you the words. Recycle, healthy, energy, protect, pollution, reuse, reduce, or waste. Which one of those words means strong and well? Very good. It is healthy. Number 1. And I can write it right here next to it so we know. And boys and girls, if you want to go get a piece of paper and something to write with, you can write the numbers from 1 to 8, and you can go ahead and write those vocabulary words as I am also writing them. Or if you want to match them along with me, you can do that as well. Okay, so let's read number 2. I'm going to place a check mark where I'm going to be reading. To make something smaller or less. To make something smaller or less. What does that mean? Yes, that means to reduce. To make something smaller or less is to reduce. Reduce. Okay, and that's how we spell reduce. Okay, number 3. I'm going to put a check mark. Remember, that's where I'm going to be reading. Okay, so please follow along with me. To use again. What does it mean to use again? Very good. That means to reuse. So I am going to put a number 3 there, and I am going to write reuse. Remember the prefix re? That means to do again. Okay, re means to do again. Okay, so reuse, to use again. All right, number four. Number four, to turn old items into new products. Remember the kangaroos? They all had pouches and they all had a label on their pouch of things that could be what, boys and girls? That they could be reused again into new products. Okay, when they are old items that are turned into new products, that what is that word? Yes, that is recycle. Those are things that we can be used into making new things for us. Recycle. Okay, there we go. All right, number five. Number five, to use something carelessly. To use something carelessly. That means things are just being wasted, boys and girls. What does that mean? Very good. I just basically said the answer, waste. Okay, so I am going to put a number 5 here for waste. And remember, number 5 is waste. There we go. All right, and number 6. Gonna read number 6. The power we get from electricity, gas, or other sources. The power we get from electricity, gas, or other sources. Yes, that is energy, boys and girls. Energy. Okay, and I'm going to write it right here because that is our vocabulary word that goes with that definition, energy. Okay, let's move right along to number 7. Number 7. Garbage that harms the earth's air, water, or soil. What is that garbage that harms the earth's air, water, or soil? Is it protect or is it pollution? We have 2 words left. Protect or pollution. Something that harms, it's garbage that harms the earth's air, water, and soil. That is pollution. That is a long word too, so let me go ahead and put it right under here. Okay, pollution. All right, number 8. That is our last definition, boys and girls, and that is to keep something safe from harm. So that's what we want to do with our earth, right? We want to what? Our earth. What's the title of our book today, boys and girls? Blank the earth. That is right. We want to protect our earth, boys and girls. We want to keep it nice and healthy. Okay. Because if we protect our earth, that means that our air is going to be healthy. That means our land is going to be healthy and our water is going to be healthy. Everything is going to be nice and clean for us. And that makes us healthy too. And remember, that's a win-win for everybody. If we synergize and work together, we can do this, boys and girls, keeping our earth healthy, protecting our earth, putting the trash where it belongs, and things like that. All right, so you did such an awesome job, Kiss Your Brain. Well, you have been working so hard with all of those vocabulary words. Okay, so now what we're going to do, you learned what each word means. So now we are going to put those words in a sentence where they best make sense. Okay, I am going to read those words for you again. We have waste, pollution, healthy, reduce, energy, protect, recycle, and reuse. Those are all the vocabulary words that we learned in our story, boys and girls, and that we matched them in the activity we just finished. So now we're going to keep on practicing those words so you will remember them and you can also use them in your writing on the next slide. Okay, so let's, I'm going to read number 1, and if you would like to join me for this activity, boys and girls, go ahead and you can write numbers from 1 through 8 again. And as I am writing them, you don't have to write the whole sentence. You can just write the word, okay? So for number one, and then just write the word that matches that fills in that sentence, okay? So number one, and please help me read, okay? Read along with me. You will blank that sandwich if you throw it away without eating it. Remember, what is that word to use carelessly? Yes, that is waste. You will waste. Okay, so for number one, you can just write waste, okay? You will waste that sandwich if you throw it away without eating. Okay, we don't want to waste food, boys and girls. Okay, your mommies and daddies, I'm sure they work very hard to get food for you. We want to make sure whatever food they give us that we eat it, that we don't waste our food. Okay, number two, you should always blank old bottles, cans, and newspapers. What were the kangaroos doing, boys and girls, when they had those pouches? You should always blank old bottles, cans, and newspapers. Yes, recycle. Put them in our recycling bins, right? So they can be made into new things. Okay, so write recycle for number two on your pieces of paper. Okay, so we have two words, two vocabulary words that we used already. And as I'm using them, boys and girls, I'm crossing them out because they're only going to be used once. So I know that I'm not going to use those words again. Okay, let's go to number three. A helmet will blank your head when you ride your bike. So what will a helmet do to our head? Yes, that is protect. It will protect our head when we are riding a bike. We need to make sure that we always wear our safety gear so we can stay safe, right? Okay, we use our helmets. All right, number four. Your plant will stay blank if you give it water and sunlight. It will stay what, boys and girls? When we give our plants water and sunlight, they're going to stay what? Yes, they will stay healthy. And we also want to keep our bodies healthy, right, boys and girls? Healthy. So go ahead and write healthy for number four. Okay? Remember, you just have to write the words. You don't have to write the whole sentence. Alrighty, number five. And read number five. Read those sentences along with me, boys and girls, if you can. Help save blank by turning off lights you are not using. So if we turn off the lights, we are saving what? Is it pollution, reduce, energy, or reuse? Those are the words that we haven't used yet. Which one do you think fits best? Completes that sentence and makes sense. Help save blank by turning off lights you are not using. Help save energy. You got it. So every time, boys and girls, that we're not using the lights, let's turn them off. If we're not watching TV, turn off your TV. Okay, so energy. There we go. So for number five, write the vocabulary word energy. Okay, we're moving right along to number six. And number six says, Carmen decided to blank the number of water bottles that she buys. Carmen decided to what? We have pollution, we have reduce, and we have reuse. Which word do you think makes better sense, boys and girls, in that sentence? Carmen decided to blank the number of water bottles that she buys. So if she doesn't want to buy too many anymore, she wants to buy less, she is what? Reducing, reduce. So for number six is reduce. R-E-D-U-C-E. Reduce. Okay, let's read number seven. The air blank made the sky look hazy and brown. The air what? Could it be the air pollution or the air reuse? Which one of those vocabulary words makes sense in that sentence? Yes, the air pollution made the sky look hazy and brown. We don't want our skies to look like that. We want our skies to look nice and blue, right? Pollution. Okay, so for number 7, write the word pollution, boys and girls. The air pollution made the sky look hazy and brown. That's a long word. I'm going to give you a minute to write it. And as you're writing these words, boys and girls, you are practicing your spelling as well. So that's something good to be doing right now. All right, number 8. I like to save wrapping paper so I can blank it. What could you do with the wrapping paper? Yes, reuse. Reuse. Okay, there's a couple of things that we can reuse, and in this case they're talking about wrapping paper. Okay, I like to save wrapping paper so I can reuse it. All right, boys and girls, so we're all done with that fill in the sentence activity. We're going to move along to our next activity. And for this one, boys and girls, you are going to write some sentences and write some statements with to answer these questions. Okay, I am going to help you read these questions, and I've also included a picture for each question to kind of help you get an idea of what to write. I wanted to also remind you that when you are writing your statements, okay, statements is when you answer a question, that you always, boys and girls, start with an uppercase letter. And if you're writing a statement, you're going to have a period at the end of your sentence. Okay, so because we're not asking questions, we are writing statements. Okay, so it's a period at the end. That's when we stop. All right, so for number 1, and you can read along with me. Can you think of 3 ways to save energy in your home? So there's a picture here of a young man. He is doing what? Yes, he's turning off the lights because he does not need them. So what are 2 more ways? Okay, that's one way you can save energy in your home. Well, can you think of 2 other ways, boys and girls, that you can save energy in your home? Okay, so you can come back to this and write your sentences for that. I'm just going to help you read the questions, and you will also have time to go back and review the rest of the activities that we did here. Okay, at your own pace. All right, number 2, or you can stop it, you can pause it, you can do that as well. Okay, all right, number 2. What are some ways you can help reduce pollution? Remember, reduce is to make it smaller. What are some ways we could do that, boys and girls? We see a young lady here. She is picking up trash. That's one way to reduce pollution. What are some other ways that you can think of? Maybe your families can help you answer these questions, boys and girls. Some other ways to help reduce pollution. Okay, number 3. What are some things you can do to stay healthy? So like I said, I added some pictures here to help you, kind of give you an idea, okay, to answer these questions. So what do you see here in this last picture, boys and girls? There are 2 ideas, 2 thoughts that you can write to answer this sentence for your statement. We see some people jogging. You can exercise, right? And you also see some healthy foods, some fruits and vegetables there. That makes me think of habit number 7. Habit number 7 is to sharpen our saw, and that's part of sharpening our saw, boys and girls, is to take care of our bodies, to take care of us, okay, to keep our bodies healthy. And 2 ways of keeping our body healthy is to get some exercise, keep our bodies healthy, and to eat healthy foods. All right, so let's go to our next activity. And we have a game that we're going to be playing together. So if you still have room in your piece of paper, you can use that same piece of paper. Or if you want to go grab another one, that is fine as well. So we have a sight word Scrabble. Okay, and for this sight word Scrabble, we have 4 letters to put together to make a sight word. Okay, and these are all the letters that we're talking about, these group of letters. We will use the 2 bottom rows of red words to help us figure out the mixed up letters that make up the sight words on the top 2 rows. So the top 2 rows of black mixed up letters, boys and girls, are all sight words, but they're not sight words when we're reading them right now. We have to put them in order. We have to put the letters in order to make it into a sight word, okay? So they're all scrambled up. So we want to put them together in the correct spots, okay, in order. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the first set of letters. Okay, it's a W-O-N-D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this set of letters, and then I'm going to look at the first red sight word. Okay, so I am looking for a word that has a W-O-N-D. Can you find it, boys and girls? Well, I'm going to start with this one. This one does not have a W. And if you can see my cursor moving, that's the word that I'm looking at. This one does not have a W. This word does not have a W. This one does not have a W. No W. No W. No W. Well, this one has a W, but the next letter is a O. It does not have an O, so I have to go to my next one. This one has a W. It has an O. It has an N, and it also has a D. So I am going to circle that one because that one might be it. Now I just have to make sure I put the letters in the correct order to make up that sight word. So the first letter that I see is a D. Cross it out. O. Cross it out. Then we have a W. Cross it out. And the last letter in that sight word, boys and girls, is an N. Okay, what sight word is that? Down. It's down. Very good. All right, so let's look at the next group of letters that are all mixed up. L-I-W-L. Okay, there's no L in this one. There's an L in this one. There's an I. There's no W. Have to go to the next one. No. It has an L. Doesn't have a W. This one does not have a L. No L here. No L here. No L here. This one has an L, has an I, a W, and another L. So I think we found it, boys and girls. I'm going to circle it, and then I am going to write it at the top, right under those mixed up letters. W. I'm going to cross it out as I'm using it, just to make sure that I use all of those letters, okay? I, and then 2 L's at the end. Okay, and that sight word is will. Will. All right, so let's go to the next one. T-A-Y-S. Okay, this one has a T. It has an A. Also has a Y and also an S. We got it on the first try, boys and girls. All right. All right, so we have an S. Cross it out. Then we have a T. Cross that out. Then we have an A. Cross that out. And finally, we have a Y. What sight word is that? Good job. Stay. Stay. All right, so let's look at the next group of letters. H-I-S-T. Okay, I'm going to start over here. No H in that word. No H in this one. There's an H in this one. There's an I, there's an S, and there's also a T. All righty. So let's go ahead and write it underneath. Make sure we're using all of those letters. Remember, we want to make sure that we're learning to spell our sight words correctly. So when we are writing our sentence, boys and girls, we are spelling all of our words in our sentence correctly. So the people that are reading our sentences can read them. T, H, cross it out, I, and an S. What side word is that? This. This. All right, so let's look at the next one. M-C-A-E. M-C-A-E. All right, there's no M on this first one. No M here. No M there. No M there. Oh, there's an M here. I also see a C. Okay, there's no A. But I think, boys and girls, that there is a mistake on this one. So I am going to make this last one an A. Okay, there we go. So I am going to circle this one. It has to be this one. I have a M, I have a C, I have the A, and I also have an E. Okay, so I am going to write it down here. C, now I'm going to cross it out. A, now I'm going to cross that out. Then I have a M, and I have an E at the end. So that word is came. Came. Alrighty, boys and girls, let's look at the next group of letters that's mixed up. A-P-L-Y. Okay, there's no A's in this sight word. I see an A here. I also see a P and an L and an Y. I think we found it. Circle it. Okay, P, cross it out. L, A, and a Y. What sight word is that? Play. Play. Good job. All right, next one. K-E-I-L. K-E-I-L. All right, there's a K here in the very first one. There's also an E. There's an I. And there is also an L. We got it. There we go. Circle it. Then we're going to write it right underneath, boys and girls, to make sure that all of those letters are used. L, cross it out. I, cross it out. K, cross it out. And an E, and cross it out. Okay, what sight word is that? Very good. It is like. Like. All right, so let's look at the next group of letters. Okay, D-S-I-A. Okay, there's a D here. There's also an S, there's an A, and there's also an I. So I'm going to circle that. S, and then I'm going to cross it out as I'm using them because I want to make sure that I use all of those letters, boys and girls, to make sure that I am spelling my sight words correctly. Next, I have an A. Cross it out. Next, I have an I, and the last letter is a D. Cross it out. What sight word is that? Said. Said. All right, next word, or next group of letters that's going to make up a word. It's Y-T-H-E. All right, we have a Y here. We have a T, we have a H, and we also have an E. There we go. Circle it. Make sure I don't use that one again. Okay, we have a T, we have an H, we have an E, and the last letter is a Y. What sight word is that? They. They. And the last one, boys and girls, we have O-E-C-M. Okay, we have an O, we have an E, we have a C, and we also have an M. I am going to circle that. C is the first letter. O is the next one. We have a M, and we have an E. Alrighty, boys and girls. So what sight word is that? Very good. Come. Come. Alrighty, boys and girls, so we're going to just read the red words on the bottom, the 2 rows. I am going to put a check mark, and we're going to read them together, and then we're going to move right on to math. Okay, so first one, stay, play, said, come, down. Next row of the red sight words, the last row. Like, this, they, will, and came. Good job. Kiss your brain again. Did such a wonderful job working so hard. All right, boys and girls, math time with Mrs. Maldonado. All right, go ahead and get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil so you can join me. And for this math problem, we are going to find out the sum. Okay, this word sum, boys and girls, that is the total or the answer when we combine two numbers together. Okay, so we are adding two numbers together. We want to find out what is the sum. All right, so we have 2 and we have a 10. Okay, our first number is a 10. So we have a tens frame here that I circled. Okay, and then we have 2 more. So I am going to quickly draw a number line. Okay, and you can also draw your number line. Remember, boys and girls, that I have been teaching you that in order for our number line to be efficient, we are not starting with the number 1. We are starting with the greater number, okay, and we are moving on. We are counting on from that number. Okay, so we have 10, and then we're going to move forward how many steps or how many spaces or how many jumps? That's right, 1 and 2. So help me count. 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to put my closed circle there, and then remember we're going to count on. So what comes after 10? 11 and 12. So our answer, 10 plus 2 is 12. Okay, so our answer is 12. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And what is the sum? Remember, the sum is the total, the answer when we combine numbers together. Okay, we have our tens frame here. Okay, and then we're moving forward in our number line. Okay, so go ahead and draw a straight line. And what number are we starting with, boys and girls? That's right, we're starting with 10. Because remember, in order for our number line or our strategy to be efficient, we are not starting with the 1. We always start with the greater number if we are adding, okay? All right, and we are going to be moving. It has a plus, okay? The symbol is a plus, so that tells us that we're going to be moving forward. And how many jumps are we moving forward? How many spaces? That's right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so help me count. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is where we are stopping. That's going to be our answer, okay? Okay, help me count on. What comes after 10? 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so our answer, 10 plus 4 is 14. So our sum is 14. So whenever you hear that word sum, remember that is the total when you are combining numbers together. Okay, move right along to the next one. What is the sum? We have our tens frame and we're adding 1, 2, 3 more. Okay, what number are we starting our number line with? Which number is greater, 10 or 3? That's right, 10 is greater. So, and how we have a plus, so that tells us the plus means that we are moving forward in our number line. Okay, if we were subtracting, we would be going backwards, but we're not. We're adding, so we are moving forward. How many spaces are we moving forward? That's right, we're moving 3. 1, 2, and 3. And my closed circle is right there because that's my answer. That's where I'm stopping. Okay, so let's count on what comes after 10. 11, 12, and 13. So our answer is, that's right, 13. 10 plus 3 equals 13. So 13 is our sum. Okay, next, what is the sum? 10 plus 5. We have 10 plus 5. Remember, this is our tens frame. And then we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we have our number line, and we're starting with what number, boys and girls? Yes, 10. Why are we starting with 10 and not with 1? That's right. Do we see a 1 in our equation? We do not. We see 10 is the greater number in our equation. That's why we're starting with 10. Okay, so we are going to start with 10 and then we're going to count on. How many spaces are we moving? Forward. Because remember, if it's plus, if we're adding, we are moving forward. Not backwards. We're not subtracting, we're adding. So we are going to move 5 spaces forward. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are stopping right here. What comes after 10? We have 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So our sum is 15. 10 plus 5 equals 15. Good job. All right, let's move along to the next one. Now, boys and girls, we have a word problem. Okay, and the word problem, we are going to look at the important information, and we're going to circle our numbers and underline the question that we have to answer. Excuse me, boys and girls. Okay, so let's start reading, and you can read along with me. Maria has 10 purses. On Wednesday, there was a sale at Walmart and she bought 4 more purses. How many purses does Maria own now? Okay, so I'm going to circle the 2 numbers that are on here. Okay, then I am going to underline my question, because that's what I need to find out, boys and girls. I need to answer that question. So that's why I underlined it, because I want it to stand out. I need to remember that's what I need to figure out. Okay, so we already know 10. So these are the ones that, if we see here, these are the ones that she already had. So this is like a tens frame, boys and girls. And I am going to draw it for you so you can see it. Okay, just like that. Okay, remember, when we are drawing a tens frame, we draw 4 vertical lines. Vertical means up, straight, up and down. Okay, horizontal means across, like this. Okay, so it's 4 vertical. Okay, vertical lines. So we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's just count just to make sure that we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We do have 10, boys and girls. So I'm going to write my equation, 10, and then we have a symbol here. We're going to add. That means that we're going to combine them together. Okay, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 plus 4 equals what? Okay, so we do have the number 10 here. We also have the number 4 here. Okay, we have a picture. We have an illustration to help us figure out the problem. Okay, now how many purses does Maria have now? That's what we want to answer. Okay, so we have our equation. I am going to draw a number line. What number are we starting with, boys and girls? That's right, we're starting with the number 10. Okay, so how many jumps or spaces are we moving forward? That's right, we're moving 4. So help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where I am stopping. Okay, so help me count. Count on. What comes after 10? 11, 12, 13, and 14. So our answer is 14. So 10 plus 4 equals 14. Now I need to answer that question. How many purses does Maria own now? Okay, say I don't know how to spell the word purses. What should I do, boys and girls? Do you have any suggestions what I should do if I don't know how to spell the word purses? Yes, I can go back in my question and I have it right here. I have the word purses and I also have the word Maria. So I know how to spell the word Maria. I know how to spell her name. And I also know how to spell purses because it's already in the problem. So how would I answer that? That's a question. Now I need a statement. It's how many purses does Maria own now? So I'm going to say Maria owns, and here's the word own, owns. How many, boys and girls? Yes, it's 14. And remember, I don't know how to spell purses, but what can I do? Yes, go back in the question. It is right there. Purses. So Maria owns 14 purses now. Period at the end, because I am answering a question. Remember, I started my sentence with an uppercase letter and I left my finger space, okay, between all of my words, and I ended with a punctuation mark. That is a complete sentence. All right, boys and girls, you did an amazing job with that. Let's go to our next problem. Mr. Rossi received 10 blue pens and 2 red pens as gifts. How many pens did he receive? Okay, so first of all, remember, I have to circle the numbers because I need those numbers to figure out my problem, to solve my problem. And then I am going to underline my question because I need to answer that question, boys and girls. That is what I have to do. So I need that question to stand out. All right, so I have 10. So let me make sure I am going to draw a tens frame here just to make sure. Okay, how many vertical lines do I draw if it's a tens frame? That's right, it's 4, boys and girls. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's our 10 for our tens frame. So I am going to write my equation. So I am going to write 10 plus 2, which this is the 10 here, and this is the 2 here. We had 10 blue ones and 2 red ones equals what? Okay, so I am going to draw my number line right here. And what number am I going to start in my number line? That's right, I'm going to start with 10. So I'm going to write a 10 there. How many spaces am I moving forward? Because it has a plus sign, so that tells me that I am moving forward. Okay, yes, it has 10 plus 2, so I'm moving 2 spaces. 1 and 2, and I'm going to put a closed circle there, meaning that is going to be where I stop, and that is going to be my answer. Now I am going to count on what comes after 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so I solved my problem already. Now I have to answer my question that I underlined, boys and girls. So let's read that question again. How many pens did he receive? So how many pens did he receive? Okay, so we said that 10 plus 2 equals what? 12. So if I didn't know how to spell Mr. Rossi's name, I have it right here. Okay, remember, we always look back at our word problem to help us spell some of the words or names or whatever is in there that we need to use in our sentence. So Mr. Rossi, and remember, we have to start with an uppercase letter, boys and girls. And also, remember, if it's someone's name, it's always uppercase. It does not matter where it is in the sentence. If it's in the middle of the sentence, we always use an uppercase letter as well for names. Okay, Mr. Rossi. It says, how many pens did he receive? Mr. Rossi, if I didn't know how to spell receive, boys and girls, I can look right here. okay? The only thing that when I hear this is how many pens did he receive, I need to add a D to it because I'm going to say Mr. Rossi received. I'm going to add a D to it. Okay, but first I need to add my finger space. Okay, Mr. Rossi received how many, boys and girls? 12. 12 what? Pens. Okay, Mr. Rossi received 12 pens. Period at the end. Okay, there was 10 blue ones and 2 red ones. All right, boys and girls, let's go to our next problem. All right, on Saturday, Ben rode his bike for 8 miles, and on Sunday, he rode 10 more. Okay, how many miles did he ride over the weekend? Okay, so remember, we always underline our question because we have to go back and answer that question when we have a word problem. Okay, so first we can write the 8 plus 10 equals what? Okay, if it's an addition, boys and girls, I always like to use the greater number, okay, in my number line first, because that's less jumps that I have to make. Okay, so which number is greater, 10 or 8? That's right, it's 10. So I'm going to start with the 10. And how many jumps or spaces am I moving forward? Because remember, if it's addition, we are going to be moving forward. We are not going backwards. So we are counting on 8 spaces. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to put my closed circle there because that's where I am stopping. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to count on what comes after 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So we have 18. Okay, so I am going to write 18. 8 plus 10 equals 18. Now I have to answer my question. My question says, how many miles did he ride over the weekend? So I am going to write, remember I have to start with what kind of letter? That's right, an uppercase letter. He rode, and it says ride, but I can use that to help me if I didn't know how to spell it at all. He rode, remember to use your finger space. He rode, okay, he rode 18. And if I didn't know how to spell miles, it is also in the question. Okay, he rode 18 miles. Okay, period. And if I wanted to, boys and girls, if I wanted to make my sentence longer, I could also copy over the weekend. I could also add that. Okay, but I didn't have enough room, so I just wrote he rode 18 miles. That answers the question. It's asking how many miles did he ride over the weekend. Okay, he rode 18 miles. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, Miss Stephanie read 7 pages of her chapter book. She could not wait to read what happened next, so she read 10 more pages. How many pages did she read all together? Okay, so I am going to, it says all together, so that means I am going to add. That means I'm going to have more. Okay, so I am going to write my equation. 7 plus 10 equals, and that's what I need to find out. And boys and girls, I need to underline my question because I have to answer that question with a statement. So I have to write a sentence to answer that question. Okay, so I am going to draw my number line. Remember, I'm starting with the 10 because that is the greater number. That means it's the bigger number. We have a 7 and we have a 10. The 10 is greater than 7. So I'm going to start with 10. And how many jumps am I moving forward? How many spaces am I moving forward? 7. So help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that is going to be my answer. I am drawing my closed circle there. So then I am going to count on. What comes after 10? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So my answer is 17. Do you remember, boys and girls, what was that vocabulary word that we use for total or for an answer? Do you remember that? Sum. Sum. So 17 is the sum of 7 plus 10. All right, so now, boys and girls, we have our answer. Now we have to answer the question. How many pages did she read all together? So I am going to start with she. And if I didn't know how to spell read, I can look at that word. It's right here in my question. She read. And if I didn't know how to spell pages, it's also in my question right here. She read, but how many? I have to put the number first. What was our answer? Yes, 17. She read 17, and then remember, I have the word pages right here. She read 17 pages. And that's the end of my sentence, so I'm putting a period at the end. Okay. Let's move right along to our next one. And the next one says, Miss Sanchez jogged along the beach for 10 miles. She then decided to walk for 1 mile. How many miles did she go? Okay, so that means that I have to write my equation. 10 plus 1 equals, because remember, we're combining them together. That means we're adding. Okay, I'm going to use my number line. Which one's greater, 10 or 1? 10. Okay, how many spaces am I moving forward? Just 1. That's it. Okay, so 10, what comes after 10? 11. So 11 is my answer. Now, I am going to I'm going to answer my question with a statement. How many miles did she go? Okay, so the word she is right here, but I need to make sure I start my statement with an uppercase letter. That means it's a capital. She, how many miles did she go? She went, how many? 11. Oh, but I don't know how to spell miles. What can I do? That's right. I go back in my sentence here and I have the word miles. She went 11 miles. A period at the end. Very good. All right, kids, you're right. Oh, you did such a good job with those word problems, boys and girls. I know that they can be hard sometimes. All right, so now it's your turn to log into MobyMax. Go into www.mobymax.com. Remember to go into the orange sign in button. Then make sure that you are in as a student. Okay, under school name, write Guadalupe Center and then click on the Find Green button. Okay, then you will see Guadalupe. Click on that. Okay, once you do that, make sure you are in as a student again. Make sure you have Guadalupe Center at the top. You are going to put your lunch number for username and password. Okay, lunch number is your student number for both of them. Next, you're going to come to this other page for step 4. Your name is going to be up here. Okay, you are going to make sure you click on the green math box. All right, boys and girls, have fun on your lessons, and until next time.